Wi-Fi's on. Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks. We are coming to you live on YouTube today to bring you delicious banana pudding. This banana pudding is a homemade banana pudding, but it's the fastest and easiest way to make a truly homemade banana pudding in the world. So I hope you try my recipe. As we're going to start, I always start out with my dry ingredients in a bowl first. You need to use a batter bowl if you have one, a wire whisk. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put in a 1/3 cup of self-rising flour. You can use flour, but I like self-rising because that's what I like. Okay, and you're going to put in a 1/2 cup of sugar. So that's a 1/3 cup of self-rising flour and a 1/2 cup sugar. Okay, and then I mix them. Then you add a dash of salt, and don't go ahead and put it in there so you don't forget, because everything really sweet's better with a little salt. Okay, so dash of salt going in. That's your dry ingredient. The next thing you do is you take a measuring cup, a 2-cup measuring cup, and you put in 2 cups of milk. Okay. Then I'll go ahead, pour my milk into my dry ingredients, and I stir it a little bit. Now we're going to crack eggs, okay? I crack a few eggs. Now I need something to put my shells on. Okay? So I like to use, these look like extra large. Were these extra large, Chris? They're huge. I usually use 4 eggs if they're large eggs.
Large.
These are large. So I like to use 4 because you get, what did I just do that for? I messed up, y'all. I'm talking. You can't crack your white into the bowl where the milk was, or your egg whites won't beat up pretty. Can they see in my mixer good?
Yep.
Okay. Probably when I put my hand across it, will probably keep it from focusing correctly. Anyway, we're going to crack our eggs, and this is the way I do it. I crack the egg white into the mixing bowl, and then I put the yellow in this one. And I do 4, and that way I have lots of meringue to make the top of my banana pudding really pretty, okay? The reason I had to throw out the other egg is when you're doing egg whites, you can't have anything in there, or it would keep the egg whites from turning into meringue. And that milk was in the bottom of there, so I couldn't use that white, if that makes sense. So anyway, we've got 4 eggs. We're using the whites in the mixer, putting the yellows in here. I'm going to beat the yellows just a little bit. I'm going to wipe off my hands real quick. I'm going to beat this yellow, add it in with my wet ingredients, and mix it. Now, I actually add the vanilla flavoring and butter after it's cooked in the microwave. So we are going to beat this up right quick, place it in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. Make sure you get the bottom good and you don't have any flour and sugar that's not mixed in your wet ingredients. Then you're going to place this. I'm having a long time in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes, y'all. Now, while that's doing that, I always just place this in here so that I don't make a mess on my countertop. But I'm actually going to go rinse it out because I put that egg white in there. And then we're going to make some meringue. Now, you don't want to beat up your meringue too far in advance, because if you do, it can turn frothy. And there's a word for it, but y'all know me, I'm just not a country girl. I say frothy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and beat it up, and then we can just mix it real quick before we put it on the pudding to make it pretty again. I'm going to put this on lock. You're going to put it on the high. I'm going to gradually add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Chris, can you center that on here while we're since we're not doing anything else right now? We're going to just lightly put in a 1/4 cup of sugar. I think you can actually zoom too if you want to use your fingers and zoom. All right, and now I'm going to turn it back up, and then I'm going to add a half teaspoon of cream or tartar. This is cream of tartar. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm using a half. It's just what I grabbed. So 2 of those. We're going to beat these until they're nice and beautiful in a stiff peakable form. It usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes to beat egg whites to make them really pretty. So you got the perfect amount of time. You've got the perfect amount of time because your pudding is in the microwave for about 3.5 minutes. Okay? And your pudding is actually going to cook total around 6 minutes to give you an idea. Okay. This is supposed to be the fastest banana pudding. You can put it on here now. You can tell this is already getting really close. It's just got a few more minutes. So while we're waiting, never just stop doing anything. We're going to go ahead and throw half the bag of vanilla wafers into the bottom of a lasagna dish. Okay, this is a lasagna sized dish. You want it to be kind of deep. These are Nabisco vanilla wafers, just your regular box, 11 ounce. I like to use 3 bananas. All right, this is done, so we're going to turn it off. It's so loud. Woo! I like to use 3 bananas. Now, I'm going to take this pudding out, and we are going to mix it up. Do they have a good view, babe?
Yes.
And see, we got our little 2-cup measuring cup. Remember to put your whisk in there so you don't mess up the counter. And we're just going to mix this really good. Now, this stay up because we're using flour. It likes to fall down to the bottom of the bowl. Make sure that you do a really good job mixing. Don't get in here, just barely move, okay? Mix it. Put it back in the microwave. 3 more minutes. What's the playing in there? Why don't you go turn it off? Okay, now we are going to slice our bananas because we got 3 minutes left. So I'm going to come around there and just look at my view because I have no idea what y'all are seeing. Because this is live. Okay, I'm going to slice up my bananas. I want y'all to see how thin I slice them. The other bananas, let me show you what I did to them. I'm not going to do it to these, but I'll show you what I did. Okay? I like to slice my bananas really, really thin. This one is going to have the whole banana in it. I actually got a banana pudding right now in the oven so that we can dip and show you the final product. Because I know you YouTubers like to see the end product even if I'm live. Okay? So, I was going to show you what I did with the other bananas, but I already chopped this one up so fast that I'll just have to do it with the next one. So nice to have a cameraman. I'll give a shout out to Mr. Nichols. Chris, the cameraman. All right. I'm going to slice this in half and just show y'all. This is an option for those of y'all that just get grossed out by bananas. You can take, this is a, good Lord, zester type thing. I don't even know what it's called. It's Peppered Chef. But it's got teeth on it and it's a circle and it's the perfect size to take a banana and pull out the seeds. Okay? If you get grossed out by bananas, my Granny Benefield did, my Colored Valley, Granny Benefield wanted me to do this when I made banana pudding. And if I didn't do it, she didn't want it. Because she couldn't stand for the bananas to turn brown. So you can actually coal out the bottom like that if you want to. But that's another step, and it's not the fastest banana pudding in the world. So I'm just trying to show y'all the fast way. If you cut that out, then, you know, of course the bananas look a little different in your pudding. It really don't take that long. Especially once you get the hang of it, you know, if you want to do that for your family, if you got somebody that has a, you know, problem with your whole banana slices. But I usually use 3 bananas, no more than that. Sometimes I use 2. I like to just cover that layer up pretty good. That's it. Now look, we got our meringue done. Our pudding's about to be 4 seconds, and we're ready for it. So if you think it takes a long time to make a homemade banana pudding, it don't. Now look at this pudding. Can I see that up close, Daddy? It's beautiful. Now it's time to make it even better. So I add a few tablespoons of butter. Let it melt down in the hot pudding. The more the merrier, right? And some good old vanilla flavoring. Lord, I put a lot. This is cheap vanilla flavoring. It'll be good. It's not the real stuff. If it's extract, don't waste it. Just use a teaspoon. But I don't have that good stuff. It costs so much. If I got a thing of extract this big, it'd probably be $40. And that's all there is to it. Now, when you make a banana pudding, your pudding is going to thicken a little bit as it sits. And you can see this is a little bit runny. Let me say, you're going to want it. You're going to want it that way, because if you make pudding that's so thick, after a few minutes after it's been out of the oven, it's going to turn it's going to be dry. Like, you know what I mean? Like the pudding is going to taste almost like a dry banana pudding. So you want to make sure and get it thin enough. And all you're really doing is adding a little bit of milk, which just makes it go even further. Now guess what we get to do? Put the rest of the vanilla wafers. You can put a small layer on. You can move it, Daddy. And then we're going to put, I call Chris Daddy because he's the kid's daddy. Won't be long, we won't have any kids here anymore. I guess I need to start calling him Chris. Oh, I need to save a couple of these. Take out about 6, I guess. And then take out 1 to crumble up on the top. At least. And that way you can put them around the edges and just make it pretty. But everybody loves the wafers in the pudding. I don't know anybody that don't like that part. So we're going to pour the rest of this on here. And get you a spatula and get every bit of it out. And I usually just brush it on like that. Now we're going to put on our meringue topping and get this in the oven. And our meringue topping is actually going to be prettier on this one than it was the last one. Now let them see in here just a second. Just turn it around. Whenever you beat this up, even if it's just a minute or 2 early, always fluff it before you use it. So we're just going to fluff it up a little bit. And let me say this, meringue is raw egg whites. So do not put these in the oven on broil. And don't use a torch like they do on these kitchen shows because it doesn't cook the egg. You want to put it in an oven that's 350 degrees. Okay? See how pretty that is? You want to put it in an oven that's 350 degrees and cook it at least 20 minutes. Watch it, but you should be able to cook it for 20 minutes easy and it not get too brown. Okay? Should just come out perfectly golden brown. So now to make this look really pretty, my favorite tool to do that with, these are nice little spatulas that I get at Michael's, but my favorite tool to do that with is actually a small spatula like this, and you can make it just look so gorgeous, like on top of a pie or whatever. So make sure that when you're doing meringue, you go around the edge and you get it, you know, all around the edge so that it seals the pie first, or cobbler, not cobbler, we don't do this for cobblers, pies and puddings. And then we can decorate it, make it pretty once we make sure we got it sealed good, okay? Especially if you're doing a pie, you want to do that. Now we're going to make it pretty, so I'm going to scoop some of it over. And we're just going to kind of do some deep swirls to start with, to get it started. And then we're going to start curling it. So just curl it. Now, if you don't fluff it back up before you put it on here, it's going to turn all yucky and you're not going to be able to make it pretty like this. Okay? So just make it pretty. Now, we're going to take one of these and we're just going to crumble it on the top to make it pretty on top. You can use 2 if you want to. Let's see how many I got left. I don't know that I've left out enough wafers. We'll just do those 4. Those 4. Then we'll crumble these. But if you want to, you can leave them out of the bottom part, you know, and line the whole top with them. But sure is good to get them in the pudding, so I hate to waste them all around the top, okay? Now let's get our pudding out of the oven. I don't know how long it took us to, I don't think it took very long. I think we started it about 19 minutes after, and it's maybe been a little while. Here's one that's done. Woohoo! And we're going to get the other one in the oven. I'll let y'all see this one close up before we put it in the oven. It's pretty and delish. So just put it in your oven, like I said, at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. Do not undercook it because of the raw eggs, okay? Now we're going to dip into this, get a bite. If that's still zoomed in, you might want to zoom it back out, Daddy, so they get a pretty picture. All right. So was that fast enough for a homemade banana pudding? I hope so. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And I'm glad I did a double. We have a party tonight. I'm about to throw together some potato salad. We're going to a party. So we're going to have potato salad tonight. Ham. I don't know what everybody's bringing, but I'm sure it'll be delish, delish, delish. So I'm going to show you how this looks. Did you let them see the sides of it? Or you want me to pick it up?
Yeah, you'll have to pick it up. Yeah.
Well, okay. Y'all look at the layers. You can see on the sides of it. Now, I know you can put it together layer by layer and put pudding on the bottom and then put vanilla wafers and then put bananas and then put pudding. But you know what? It all tastes the same if you just throw it all in there at one time, and it sure is faster. It really does taste the same. I used to do the layer, and I don't do it anymore. So we're going to cut into it. And I want y'all to see it. When you get finished with your banana pudding, you want it to be runny enough that it's juicy looking. Can they see that, Daddy? So you want this to be, you know, soft and juicy. You don't want it to be all dry. And it'll get dry if you don't thin it up a little bit. And it's delicious warm, too. So, let me taste it. I'm going to let it cool off a sec. Mmm. Mmm. Nothing's better. Nothing than homemade banana pudding. If you make it in the microwave, it's fast, never scorches, never burns, always beautiful, always glossy, creamy, gorgeous. Just put that butter in there afterwards. Gives it even more of a shine. And don't forget the dash of salt because it adds a lot to it. And thanks for watching Colored Valley Cooks, where we cook like Mama did.